Hi friends, and welcome back to my dungeon. So today I'm going to share with you this Shabby Chic round mini album that was 100% inspired by ladies from Russia and ladies from Poland on Instagram and YouTube. Lately, I have been subbing to a ton of ladies from Russia. They make the most exquisite greeting cards and mini albums that I have ever seen. And also, I subscribe to a couple of ladies from Poland. And even though we don't speak the same language, their artistry, all the love that they put into their makes, speak volumes. So, with that said, I went ahead and I looked for a specific type of die to make a round mini album. I have seen them, and they do use cloth to make the covers for their circle mini albums. However, I am not very good at working with cloth. With fabric, so I decided to just use the papers that I do have in my possession and so forth. Now, the very first thing that I had to do was get myself a die. And this is a steel rule die, because even though I have circle dies in many sizes, they're just your regular metal dies, and I knew that I wanted to make a mini album out of chipboard, and I figured the only way I'm going to be able to make this mini album out of chipboard is by getting my hands on a steel rule die. So let me show you the die that I have. It is a Spellbinders Fun Stampers Journey die. It is a circle die, and when I ordered it, I ensured that it was the right size. And let me show you what it looks like. And what I love about their steel rule dies, or their steel dies, is that I am able to cut chipboard with this. This is the size, this is what it looks like, and like I said, is Fun Stampers Journey, and but you'll find it at Spellbinders. And I did get this at a really great price, and I'm going to go ahead and leave you with a link to this circle steel rule die in the area right underneath this video. And so I'm so glad I got it, because I'm going to make a heck of a lot more mini albums with my circle die, and I can make them with chipboard, which was exactly what I wanted. So with that said, let me go ahead and show you this mini album. And it was fairly easy to make. Now, it may look a little bit unfinished. After taking pictures and so forth, I figured that it did kind of look a little bit unfinished, because the ladies from Russia, the ladies from Poland, what they do is they to shabby it up, they go ahead and they gesso, using the white gesso, they gesso the edges of the mini album on the inside sheets, and they apply gesso around the perimeter of, or the circumference, I hope I said it right, of the pages, so that it'll look shabby. But I did not remember to do that, and so it came out like this. But I still like the way it came out. So this beautiful bow right here was gifted to me by my dear friend Christine. She is Shabby Pink House right here on YouTube. These beautiful flowers were gifted to me by my other dear friend Rosa Gomez. She is Rosa's Creative Way right here on YouTube. And these other flowers are for my stash. This sentiment here and this bird cage here are wooden pieces, also for my stash. And this other die that you see right underneath it is this one right here, also for my stash. And so yeah, and the closure is just a simple closure. As you can see, it's a seam binding closure for my stash. And the papers that I used are also for my stash. This was just using a couple of pieces of paper that I had left from an old Shabby Chic collection. I do not recall the name of this collection right now, but if I do and if I can find it online, I will go ahead and link you to these papers as well. So, like, I don't know if I mentioned it before, this Shabby Chic mini album is for my mom, and she just loves Shabby Chic, and yeah, she loves things like this. She uses them to decorate her home and so forth. And so it's very simple on the inside. The actual album measures, let me see, about approximately 4.5 by 4.5. So I didn't want to fill it on the inside with all these things to, that would possibly take away room for the pictures. So I just left it plain and simple. And this is the first page. Now, I did add a piece of embellishment on each and every single of the 4 pages. Yeah, there are 4. Of the 4 pages, these embellishments are handmade embellishments that were made by my dear friend from I can't talk. From Fun Paper Art. Oh, don't you just love the way I fumble all over my words? And so anyhow, this is what it looks like. And here is another page. There we go. And here is another page. And another page. And the back cover. Now, as far as how I made this mini album, using this particular die, what I did here was I trimmed a 1/2 inch off of the circle. As you can see, I die cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 circles. 2 circles were die cut using chipboard, and the 4 circles were die cut using just regular cardstock. And of course, I did die cut the other the covers using the same die, and everything was trimmed at 1/2 inch. That way I could make a what do you call it, this part right here. And so the binding system, yes, that's what it's called. For the binding system, what I did was I trimmed 4 strips, right? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5 strips. I trimmed 5 strips, and what I did was, I believe they were about 1 inch wide, and I scored it at 1/4 inch, turned it over, scored it at 1/4 inch. And then what I did was I took the strip, and then I glued it onto here to the the chipboard, and then I glued the cardstock to the other side of the strip, and then on top of that went the papers. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and look for the tutorial. The tutorial is in Russian, but you can easily follow what she's doing. I'm gonna try to find that tutorial so that I can leave it in the description area below so that you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's super easy to make, and yeah. Back here, once I was done with the binding, all I did was I trimmed another piece of cardstock, and this one was from that paper collection that I'm using here. And all I did was just measure how far each space was, and then I cut this outer piece accordingly, and I glued one piece over here and then the other piece over here, and then on top of it I glued the papers to the chipboard. So it was super simple to make. And like I said before, the Russian ladies and the ladies from Poland, they actually use fabric. Their books come out so absolutely beautiful, and I really don't keep fabric in my craft room. I have tons and tons of unused papers. So yeah, I decided to make it with papers. And like I said, looking at it now, the edges could have used a little bit of that white gesso to shabby it up and to make it look complete. But I'm sure my mom won't mind. But now I know for the next one. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, and please remember to check out the links that I have below so you can go ahead and visit these Russian ladies. And they have, oh gosh, their mini albums are so magnificent. And I also will link you to the products that I use, and I'll see if I can find this paper that I used if you're interested. And so, yeah, thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you once again real soon. Bye.